The world is very wide and we have to know a lot. And what we know, what I know about this world is not even 0.0001% of what is to be known.
It's okay.
No blood comes out. He puts his hand inside the breast and squeezes that thing out. And then puts the breast there, hand there, and prays. Takes it out, no scar also. Can you believe that? You won't believe that. But I can tell you, I have got photographs of that. And you must see the thousands of people who flock there and go back happy. A lot of things you and I don't know. The world is very wide. And we have to know a lot. And what we know, what I know about this world is not even 0.0001% of what is to be known. Hell of a lot to be known. And that makes you humble. Humility is education, says India's system. Vidya dadati vinaya, vidya vinaya sampanna. The greatest degree is how humble you are in this world. You are the educated man. How arrogant you are, irrespective of what ABCD you have after your name, it couldn't matter. You are nobody. Humility says, look, I am yet to know a lot. And I have to know a lot. And that really stimulates you to know a lot. So friends, only thing that helps you to live is your lifestyle. Lifestyle. Work very hard, eat less, talk the truth, help others, you live. Didn't you understand that? Very easy. And all diseases start in the mind, and all diseases die in the mind. Krodha, Shokha, Bhaya, Ayasa, Viruddhanna Bhojana, Taponalan, Katva, Amla, Kshara, Lavana, Tikshnoshtati, Rakta, Pitta, Prakopayat. All things come from the mind. And where is the mind? Never mind. You are the mind. You don't have a body. What you call as a body is an illusion of the human mind. And the human mind is not in the brain. Every organ has a memory. Recently, my friend in London did a transplant. Magdi Yaqub is a very famous cardiac surgeon. And Magdi, when he did an operation from a 19-year-old boy who met with an accident and took the heart to a 56-year-old man who had intractable heart failure. Everything went smooth. But one thing happened. This man who recipient was a pure vegetarian. But after the transplant, he wanted only chicken in the morning, chicken in the afternoon, and probably fish in the evening, and beef in the morning. So everybody was surprised what happened. Then they went back to the history of the boy who met with an accident. He wanted chicken in the morning, chicken in the afternoon, chicken at night. And this vegetarian has become anti-vegetarian. So organs also are human beings. And they have the same creature. The mind is everywhere. So mind is not confined to a part of the body. Now, I will stop here. You know why? In all these things, we should have a cafeteria approach, not a camp approach. In a camp approach, everybody gets the same thing, rice kanji in the morning and pickles. But in the cafeteria approach, you can get masala dosa, you can get, if you want masala dosa, you want vada, you want anything you want. So now, if individually you have any problem about lifestyle change or your own problems, you don't say it's yours. You say, my neighbor has this problem. Ask a question. If I know the answer, I'll answer it. Thank you very much.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
No,
sit down and talk.
It's okay. I wanted to know if there's any way you can control allergy.
Good question.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people suffer very badly because of allergy. And if there's any treatment, I'm sure medicine is not a solution, but some holistic
Good.
way to treat. Yeah?
Very good. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Do you know what allergy is? The definition of allergy, I'll tell you. Von Pirquet is a French physician who defined allergy about 100 years ago. He said, altered, acquired capacity to react. You understand that? Altered, acquired capacity to react. So allergy is not genetic. Allergy is not something with you. You alter yourself one day to become allergic to something. You know, if you would have been eating, let's say, pickles every day, one fine morning you may be allergic to pickle. Unless you come in contact with people earlier, you will never be allergic. Even drugs like that. Unless you are exposed to a drug, like penicillin allergy, for example. Penicillium notatum is a fungus in the wild. All of us can come in contact with that. Somebody suddenly becomes allergic. So it's altered. And the most important part of allergy is the mind. So half the allergy, if not more than whole the allergy, can be really eliminated if you analyze your mind and forget about the whole thing. You fuss about it, you become more allergic. Acute allergy, Stevens-Johnson syndrome or acute collapse, requires treatment. Temporarily. Steroids. Steroid is nothing. It's just one of those placebos that you give to everybody for everything. But taking medicines in the chronic for allergy, on a chronic basis is very dangerous because most of these anti-allergy drugs, which are called anti-allergy drugs, are very bad H1 blockers. And they invariably increase the QT interval in the heart. And one of the quick methods of killing yourself very fast is being on anti-allergic drugs continuously. Some of the recent anti-allergic like Cinnarizine are H1 blockers plus A1 blockers so that your blood pressure goes down sometimes. So be careful when you do these things. And second thing is no doctor tells you, or many doctors forget to tell a man, anti-allergy drug people should not drive a vehicle. But they suddenly, their level of thinking will go down and the judgment goes down and accidents are very common. It is estimated that 50% of the road accidents are due to people taking anti-allergic drugs without their knowing that. And one of the methods of anti-allergy thing is how to change the mind. Quantum healing. Meditate and get it out. And the nose allergy, the seat of the allergy is in the submucosal layer. Now there are lasers which can remove that layer and sensitize that layer, desensitize layer, and you are all right in no time.
I believe that most of our diseases, such as cancer and stuff, is caused by some kind of stress, emotional, mental. But that doesn't help explain why 4-year-olds get blood cancer and things like that. How do children
What a
get
beautiful
cancer?
question. This girl is very good. I like that girl. Amma, have you got into a 4-year-old child's mind?
I've tried to a lot.
Yeah,
of
you have
times.
not been. You will see a 2-year-old child. When you get the next child coming out, it hates that child so much that it wishes the child can be killed. They have tried to kill that. They are also in the same world, ma. They have also got emotions, which you and I don't understand. They are also same zygote as you and I are. And they also can think. So you don't know what happens. You know, a lot of people ask, why did Ramana Maharshi die at a young age? Why did Shankara die at an young age? How do you know they had a tranquil mind? They were good people. You know, for example, you think I am a good man. I may be a rascal inside. You don't know. You don't know, really. So a child also has emotions. So a 4-year-old child can have cancer, nothing wrong in it. You will be surprised to know that a child learns in your own womb. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah, if you and your husband fight when you are having the child inside, that child becomes a fighter when it comes out. It can learn for 9 years, for 5 years in the house, surroundings.
Kurukshetra.
Kurukshetra. See how that Chakravyuha coming out and going in, etc. Today people are teaching mathematics to children in the womb. Yeah, you can do that. You just try this experiment. When you become next pregnant or somebody friend becomes pregnant, after some time you name the child. You name the child something and call the child every day. And after a few months, you just simply call the child, it moves in the tummy.
Professor, I've tried that. I have a 12-year-old son who loves mathematics. And I remember when my friends used to ask me when I was pregnant if I have any kind of urges to eat. We have specific urges to eat. And I had none. But I used to want to solve integral calculus, enjoyed doing that. And my son loves mathematics.
Good girl. Good girl. Indians are good at calculus after Ramanujan, You will be surprised. A professor of cardiovascular surgery in Stanford, such a big man. His name was David Eddy, D-A-V-I-D-E-D-D-D-Y. Eddy, at the age of 52, when he was about to become the head of the department of cardiac surgery because his boss, Norman Shumway, was retiring, he said, why am I doing bypass surgery? It's unscientific. There's no scientific basis. I'm using linear mathematics for non-linear organ. He resigned his job. Can you believe that? 52, Stanford, professor of cardiovascular surgery, resigning his job. And he joins Stanford University for PhD in mathematics. 3 years later, he gets a PhD in mathematics with the Henley Gold Medal, and a citation says, David was the best brain in calculus that Stanford had in 350 years. And David goes on to change the physiology of man, and he has got a new physiology now called www.archimedesmodel.com. Go to the library, put it there. You get and then put your problems there, you get a solution there. And you will find whatever drug you give there, it says it's horrible, don't take that drug. And David is now professor of medical management in Stanford University. He doesn't do bypass surgery. So good.
Thank you.
Here, doctor.
Don't ask a difficult question.
I have a couple of questions.
My God.
One is, how do we get rid of the plaques in the arteries without statins, for example? And the second question is, if someone is detected with, say, 90% blockage or something, and having stent implanted is good or not?
Good. Both questions are good. They are really good questions. You know what it shows? Are you an engineer? Yeah, see, how did I know? How did I know? Because only an engineer can illogically think that if there is a block, that must be removed. There is a toilet block, it must be removed, no? If the toilet pipe is blocked, water to come, you put a new pipe. But unfortunately, the human body is non-linear and non-Euclidean, so you can't apply your Euclidean linear mathematics there. When the block starts as a child, God starts giving you bypasses. They are called collaterals. So it's good. It's good to have a block. Remember that? Don't try to remove the block. As a matter of fact, we have developed a new system of yoga where you can produce blocks in those rare individuals, unfortunately, who don't have block. I'll show you that. It's very simple. You know the sannyasis in the Himalayas live up to 100 years? You and I don't live. Do you know why? We have too much oxygen here. They have very little oxygen there, up there. So less oxygen means the heart gets to learn to live longer. So with the blocks coming, nature has given the block, the heart will live longer. So don't try to remove that. And whoever has told you that statin will remove the block must have told you, taken you up the golden path. Now this is a very simple exercise. This is very simple, and it has two things it does. A, it helps your heart to have intermittent hypoxia. You know, every part of the second you don't get oxygen, the other half you get the oxygen. So heart gets stimulation and it produces the blocks and helps the blocks. And it's very simple. And at the same time, it exercises a beautiful muscle called psoas major. It's a large muscle which starts in the chest at the back and comes down to the pelvis and holds on and comes and attaches itself to the thigh. So that if you stimulate this muscle, all the organs are stimulated every day in the human body. It's very simple. See, stand like this. Of course, now I've had a full breakfast. I shouldn't be doing it, but anyway, let me try. You should do it on empty stomach. You stand like this and then breathe in and breathe out. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Sit without a chair. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Stand up, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Now what have I done? I have breathed out for 20 seconds without oxygen going to my heart. And now breathing in. So intermittent hypoxia I have given. Number 2, I have stimulated my psoas. If you did it 5 times in the morning, 5 times in the evening, your blocks will increase. You don't want that, right? And you will live longer.
How about the stent part?
I didn't want to answer that. Actually, the stent will worsen the whole thing.
Or a bypass surgery?
No. Both will worsen the whole thing. Now, you live after that because of the placebo effect. You shouldn't live after that. Actually, bypass surgery is associated with double the risk of heart attack afterwards, quadruple the risk of stroke afterwards, sudden death increases afterwards, heart failure increases afterwards. Nobody tells you this. But your pain goes. Pain goes. Pain went without the surgery also, you know that? I gave you an example of placebo effect. Now you think medicines will cure you? I'll give you a study. It's a very interesting study recently published. Published in one of the most prestigious journals called Science Translational Medicine, STM. And this was done in 4 universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Hamburg and Munich. Led from Oxford by Professor Bingel, who is the professor of medicine in Oxford. You can write down. You can write. I'll give you a reference. Good. You have a clerk also. Paid clerk or unpaid clerk? I'm not the clerk, I'm the boss. Yeah. I saw an American plaque which said, I am the boss of the house. I have permission of my wife to say so. Go on. Tell. Write down. Bingel. B-I-N-G-E-L. Bingel et al. Et al. In Latin means and others. There are so many authors. I can't tell you all of them. And this name is the placebo effect. Placebo effect. P-L-A-C-E-B-O effect. And the journal is STM, Science Translational Medicine. Year is 2011. Volume is 3. Page is 70. You read this, what they have done is, they did a study of morphia. Morphia. You know morphia? Biggest painkiller. And they took severe pain patients. Severe pain. The like of which you can't even imagine. And they ran a drip of morphia in their vein. Okay? But told the patient, this is not morphia. This is a new vitamin we have found out for your disease. Your pain won't go, but you will get better. 100% patients' pain didn't go. Can you believe that? What was running in their vein? Morphia. And the most powerful painkiller. Right? Then they, what is called crossover study. They took the patient to another center. They ran salt water, saline, in the vein. And then said, this is the latest salt of morphia. Very powerful. Your pain will go. Pain went. Did you get that? That's the placebo effect. So, angioplasty, scientifically, is damaging the intima of the artery. You're breaking it and then attracting a clot. By evening, that is closed. Whether you have a stent or no stent, ordinary stent, desiccated stent, medicated stent, etc., is all for money, nothing else. And you get better because you have paid money. Placebo effect. Today, the greatest cause of a stroke is not having diabetes or hypertension. Going to a hospital with bypass facilities after chest pain is the biggest risk for stroke. 50% of them get a stroke after bypass surgery. 97% of them get multiple emboli and the cognitive defect, which settles down to 47%. They don't know, they forget so many things. They don't, sometimes they forget their boss's name, etc., etc. You get the point? But this is not known, no? This world is Verklichkeit. Do you know how bypass surgery started? You don't know. And how it became a business? You don't know. If you knew, you wouldn't have bypass surgery. It is not how I knew you are an engineer. I knew because a lot of people do this. There's one man called Subramanya Swami. Have you heard of him? Some years ago, he came to me. Somebody brought him to me with some chest pain, which was, of course, little. So I examined him and said, look, nothing to worry. You're stressed so much, you little go slow. That was the time he was contesting for the parliament from Madurai. And he said, what are you talking, doctor? There's a block. And I am an economist. I am a professor of economics in Harvard. I said, that's the problem. That's the problem. No, there is a block. You must remove, like you. Then I told him, it's not like that, Mr. Swami. Explained to me, wasted so much of my time. All free, because these politicians, they don't pay. But he would have paid. If I had asked, he would have paid. I didn't ask. Anyway. He went and had an angioplasty. After that, saw a lot of problems here. Now he's all right. Because nothing happens to these people. Nature looks after them. So I do this yoga technique for some children, unfortunate children who don't get blocks. And they develop blocks. Or even without the block, if you did every day this exercise, you get intermittent hypoxia for the heart. The heart lives longer. Now did you understand the difference between a dynamic structure which is non-linear and a non-linear structure which is the toilet pipe? Or probably you are in the oil company pipe. Oil company pipe is blocked.
Yeah, but you mean to say modern medicine is not good at all?
said that. I never said that. Modern medical quick fixes are needed for an emergency care, but quick fix only. See, supposing I collapse now here. I can't sit and do yoga and I'll say I'll be all right. Okay? Supposing I fall under a motor car, I can't. You know, I fell under an auto rickshaw the other day. I survived by the skin of my teeth. I thank the auto rickshaw fellow for saving my life. This fellow was dead drunk at 5 o'clock in the evening. I was going for a walk on the footpath. This fellow swerved the rickshaw because he wanted to avoid a bus and came right onto me and hit me. If you look at my leg, you will get shocked. You will not come to Kuwait. But I told Jitin I'm coming, so I came. And this, because see, this is, now I can't say I will do yoga and get it right. No. You have to do something, but I didn't do anything. But what I'm saying is modern medicine has certain role. But the percentage of people who benefit by that is 1% of the sick population. 99% of the sick population do not require modern medicine. It is used for money. I'll give you an example. One example will do. 55 million people in Europe do not go to work in winter because of what's called feverish cold. Simple disease, feverish cold. 55 million. Now these people don't require modern medicine. Do you know what they require? A good dose of ginger, garlic and pepper. And they'll be fine. Next day they can go back to work. What do we do today? We give antibiotics to them. Send them home. If you give antibiotics to a viral disease, your immune system changes and the immune cytokine response becomes Th1 to Th2. And most of the Th2s are either vasoconstrictors or bronchoconstrictors. So by giving antibiotics to a viral disease, we manufacture asthma. Is it good? Or we manufacture a heart attack in elderly people. See? Do you know the amount of people who die of nosocomial infection in the intensive care units? We created that thanks to antibiotics. So what I am trying to tell you is, we have a judicious mix of these things. Simple things can do that. A study in Canada showed when a doctor sees a heart attack in society, he will have seen 36,000 minor illness syndromes. There are 4 minor illness syndromes, which we don't even teach in medical college properly. Common cold, feverish cold, flu-like illness, and then sore throat. Simple things. Now a doctor doesn't know the difference. How many doctors can tell the difference between common cold and feverish cold? How many doctors know that the best treatment for sore throat is hot water? How many of us give antibiotics for a sore throat? This is the problem of modern medicine. I didn't want to go into that because all that it will be a big another medical college class. Difficult. But if you are interested, there is a book I have written, What Doctors Don't Get to Study in Medical School. Read that book. This book was so badly condemned when it came out in India. They wrote this is a rubbish book and this fellow is a mad fellow, his English is not good, book is not good, blah, 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 blah. And the book sold, all the copies were sold in 1 week's time, thanks to that review. Then it got published in London. And the British Medical Journal's editor wrote, this is not a textbook as claimed by the author, but certainly in my opinion, this is a holy text of medicine written by a prophet. It is still going on in the 5th edition. And Amazon is making sometimes money. When it's short supply, they say $900 for it. It's 245 rupees in India. It is selling. So these things happen. This is how commercial things. So my son sells that book in America for the same, some $20 or something like that. And through Amazon he sells it.
Is he a doctor?
No. That's the good thing. My doctor daughters don't believe me. He's an engineer like you.
Thank you, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, doctor.
Doctor, here. Dr. Hegde, thank you very much for your enlightening speech. I would like to ask you about. I'd like to ask you about antidepressants for a long time and their benefits, if any. And I know that you are.
What a beautiful question. What a beautiful question.
Yes.
You couldn't have asked a better question. This is $1 million question.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something. When the mind is not in the brain, how can you treat depression with chemicals? Do you know what happens when you treat depression with chemicals? You become demented. And that's called Alzheimer's disease. One professor of neurology, psychiatry, in New York, this girl wrote a book. Her name is Grace Elizabeth Jackson. What's her name? Write down. Grace Elizabeth Jackson. And the book says, Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Okay? And this book is selling like hotcakes, and she has made millions. But she has been dismissed as a professor of psychiatry in the New York University because of writing that book. Please read Grace Elizabeth Jackson's book, and it will tell you it's a very nice book. It goes into the chemistry of it. I mean, when the mind is not there, the best treatment for depression is social support, behavioral therapy, group therapy. Patients come out of it. You know what happens when you take drugs for depression on a long-term basis? The patient commits suicide. One of the side effects of antidepressant drugs is it stimulates the brain to commit suicide. Now, most of the crimes, even homicides, are due to taking antidepressant drugs. I won't go further into it. One example is Germanwings plane was taken down by the co-pilot because he was on a heavy dose of antidepressants. I mean, go on and on and on. But that's a beautiful question. Eh? As a matter of fact, there is no scientific basis for treating mental illnesses with chemical drugs. For mental illnesses, only psychotherapy. For a mind which is not at ease, another mind at ease must set it in ease. Not a chemical molecule. Yes, sir.
Doctor, most of the people now suffer from the diabetic.
No, that's not a wrong. That's a wrong statement. Incidence of diabetes genuinely has not gone up, but we are creating diabetes. So, for example, in his area, you give that chemical for depression. What is that called? Thallium. Huh? Produces diabetes. Our friend takes statin. 40% of statin taking patients become diabetics in 1 year. So are we not manufacturing a lot of diabetes? I mean, of course, we are producing obesity, which is one of the important causes of diabetes. Obesity is very rampant in the West. Even in this country, I see almost every other person is obese.
If at all the person already got diabetic, what is the solution? Without medicine, whether they can cure? That is my
Very good
doctor.
question. Very good question. As a matter of fact, if you can control your diabetes without medicine, you will live 10 years longer than a non-diabetic. Did you know that? There's a study, beautiful study, Indian study, which shows that if you control your diabetes without drugs, diabetes can be easily controlled without drugs. Diet and exercise. Diet and exercise. 1 hour walking, 350 calories gone. 350 calories is 7 idlis. 1 idli is 50 calories. 7 idlis is 350 calories. So you walk one day, one hour, so 350 calories gone. It's like, bank balance. You put more money, put less money inside and spend more money. There's less balance. Are you an economist? You're a doctor? Chartered accountant. Oh, see, that's why I said that. How did I know you're a chartered accountant? You put less money in the bank, spend more money. So balance is less, isn't it? See, chartered accountant, bright chartered accountant. See, how did I know? Good man. Walk, walk, walk.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
And relax, relax, relax. More tension, you want this, you want that. Chartered accountant, then, especially if you're a chartered accountant accounting the Ravana account, then your blood pressure, blood sugar will go up.
Hello, sir. Here.
Yes, young lady. Huh?
What about hyperlipidemia? What is the treatment you would suggest?
Amma, there isn't anything called hyperlipidemia. The more lipid in the body, the better for you. You live longer. We created a myth called fat is bad for the heart. There isn't any basis for that. Now, Americans are saying we are sorry for doing that. Now, USDA has put a 553-page document saying that Americans should eat more fat. They should at least have 2 eggs a day. And they should have more eggs and more green butter and more ghee and things like that. Who is this hyperlipidemia, the disease? It's a commercial disease. Listen. Why should you believe fat is bad? If you go back, it all started with the first study called Ansel case study. This man was given $100 million to study relation between fat and heart because already companies had drugs to lower fat. So this man created a study. He studied 22 countries and found there is no relationship at all. He can't write a no relationship having taken so much money. So he made a paper by eliminating country by country by country without telling any people how many countries he studied. He studied 22 countries, presented 6 countries and had some sort of a relationship. But there was this professor called John Yudkin in London in the 50s who had found out fat is very good for health and what was bad was sugar. So he wrote a book for you. You read that. You're an engineer, no? It's called Pure, White and Deadly. Have you seen that book? Pure, White and Deadly, John Yudkin. Now they demonized that man. They dismissed him, a professor of nutrition, London University. They removed his degree and they put him out of the GMC. And the poor fellow had to teach music to survive. And he has died. Now they say, oh yes, sugar lobby did this. And now it is found out, for your information's sake, as an engineer, the sugar lobby paid 3 Harvard scientists $50 million to create the fat myth. But luckily, all those 3 are dead now, so they can't be prosecuted. You understand now? Now why do you believe that? So don't believe anything. Go into it. Don't you believe anything. Don't believe what I say. Find out for yourself. Don't believe what I say about bypass surgery. Go and find out yourself. Then you know what's happening.
Hello, sir. Professor, what we can learn from the nature, like animals, do they have similar diseases?
Beautiful, beautiful.
And we have more diseases because we investigate more on us?
What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Do you know what this is called? Disease mongering. We go after diseases and create diseases in human beings because we don't have what is called normal. We have average. These actuaries have taught us, the chartered accountants have taught us. There was an actuary like, what's your name, sir? Vishweshwar. There was a big Vishweshwar in London in the 18th century. His name was Benjamin Grumpets. What is his name? Benjamin Grumpets. This man had written the actuarial data of human death and disease in the 18th century. And everybody forgot about it. That is lost. Now they have discovered in the debris of his old house, in the 18th century house, the document. And they took it out and put it on the present actuarial statement. It fits in so beautifully. Nothing has changed. But we have created more diseases by what is called disease mongering. Supposing I am selling idlis in India. I want to say idli is very good for everybody, no? So, if I am a doctor, I want more disease, no? You will be surprised in London, doctors were very happy when the smallpox epidemic used to come in the 18th century. That's the time they make more money. And 1823, the doctors in London were so bad, for your information's sake, that a doctor among them called William Wakeley, what's his name? Wakeley, W-A-K-E-L-E-Y. Wakeley thought the London doctors of 18th century, I am quoting his words, were a bunch of corrupt, impotent, nepotistic fools who become an abscess on the human body like a pus. So he said, I am going to teach them science and then I will see that they become better. And he started a journal which he called as the Lancet, knife, so that I will remove the pus. When did Lancet start? 1823. Who started? James Wakeley. Now how many years? 16, 185 years. The present editor of Lancet last year, Richard Horton, said, what has been the effect of Lancet on the doctors? You want to know? Don't want to know? If you don't want to know, don't know. And he commissioned Hilary Butler, a journalist from New Zealand, to do the study. She studied and wrote, I quote, what was once a bunch of corrupt, impotistic, nepotistic fools has transformed itself into a corporate monstrosity which is cutting people left, right and center all over the world. You want to know?
Hello, sir. I'm Vinayak here. I have one comment based on what you told today. That you are going back to again age-old what our saints taught in India. Like one of the saint I remember in Maharashtra was Samarth Ramdas. Like Mana Sajjana, he will say. Like, oh mind, oh great mind, listen to your mind and do what is right and what is truth to be said. You are going back to that same old concept. I have one is this our Indian the doctors who were earlier which were saints, is that we are going back to again that old era of the medication which is the foundation of whole medicine in India? Is that you are pointing to holistic medicines? And another point I want to make is that how do I avoid negative persons? Like there are a lot of negative people surrounding us who will influence us that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, do this only. So I just wanted to say two things actually. Thanks.
Very good, man. Very good, man. The first thing you said is absolutely right. Knowledge does not belong to any particular era. Knowledge goes around in circles like fashion. You know, you are not old enough to know. There was a time when we were all young, the trousers were very wide here. Bell-bottom trousers. They become narrow. They become very narrow. Now they have started becoming broader and broader and broader. Knowledge is, wisdom is like that. It goes around in circles. And I already told you, if you have not caught it, that I quoted Hans-Peter Dior, who wrote a paper called Matter is Not Made Out of Matter, where he says, I learnt my science. Who is saying this? A nuclear scientist who was the director of Max Planck Institute in Munich, which is the highest body of physics, and in Germany. And he followed Einstein, Werner Heisenberg, and then he is the director now. And he has been the director for 20 years. And he says, I'm a nuclear scientist. My job is to look at matter at its subtlest level. And now, one day I found out there is no matter at all. Was I surprised? No. Because I have been reading Indian sages who said there is no matter at all. And they said it is Advaita, Tat, Sat. So do you think he is right or wrong? You and I have no concern for our hoary past. That doesn't mean we can live in the past. You got to progress. But you can take a lot of wisdom from the past. You are absolutely right. And there's a lot of difference between our tradition and the Western tradition of reductionist science. Our tradition is the whole science which is observational research. Thousands of years we have done the research. For example, are you from which part of India you are? So you are Bagalkot, Nammur. Already, see, a lot of people, especially Brahmins in India, before they eat, they do what's called achamanam. They take some water around the leaf and then drink it. Now they thought, you all think it is foolish, superstition, whole thing. Why should I do that? But if you know now physiology, there's a tube which takes food from the mouth to the stomach, which is called the esophagus. And this esophagus is a closed tube. It's potentially open, but it's closed. Supposing you go there and suddenly take a solid food, like you had 2 pegs of whiskey and then take a big meat piece in biryani, that will get stuck there because it won't open. And a lot of people have died. Now this was observed by people over the years, and they said, if you put a little water, the esophagus starts this peristalsis, like the snake, starts the peristalsis.
Right.
They told people, do little water and then, drink it. Who bothers? If you tell people compliance, they brought God inside. And then God means fear. So compliance. They said, if you do this, God will be happy. So everybody did. Like that. So less people died. Isn't that a good method?
Yes.
Why can't you learn from that?
Fear is the emotion which...
I'm not saying fear is just a byproduct. Yeah. What I'm saying is, the minute compliance goes up, people survive. They knew that.
Yes.
That's why they made this. Yes. So it is not anything bad. Do you know you ring a bell in the temple?
Yes.
Do you know now sound waves kill germs?
Yes.
Temple is a place where a lot of people come, a lot of germs can be there, and germs like people crowding around in closed places. So all that is known. They knew that, and this will zap the germs. Mantra chanting, the vibration that can kill germs. So all this is science, but we don't want to know that. We think modernity means it must come from the West. There's a wrong definition of modernity. Every modernity comes from its antiquity. So Western modernity came from Western antiquity. And Indian modernity should come from Indian antiquity and not from Western antiquity. Did you understand that?
Yes.
That's the difference.
Thanks.
Good. He's a good boy. I know him. Good boy. But he has become a businessman. That's the only problem. Have you seen his resort in San Diego? No, you must go there. It's a fascinating resort. You go there and stay there, $10,000 in a week. You just enjoy Deepak meal, Deepak this, Deepak that. And he's a lot of so-called quote-unquote Ayurvedic drugs. I told him, Deepak, you shouldn't be doing this Ayurvedic drug business. But that's his. And who are his clients? The big names in the Bollywood. So this fellow he has got a studio and apartment in Manhattan. So he flies to Manhattan every weekend and comes back, and then he enjoys life. But he's a good boy. And he has got writers to write the books. He writes the same thing again and again. Seeing God, this fellow, that fellow, and all. So many books are there. Good books. Good boy. He called me once for a lecture and he interviewed me, which came in the television in America. He said, "Sir, what is wrong with modern medicine?" I said, "Everything is wrong." So it came, big thing, and people wanted to kill me. But then truth is bitter. Truth is bitter. Basis is wrong. We have to use non-linear mathematics in the human body and not linear mathematics. That's all the difference. Yes. Yes, ma.
I'm
Hey.
Dave. I would like to ask this question. Can music heal?
Oh, what a beautiful boy. I love you. Come here. Come. Music is a big therapy, man. Come here. You come. Music is a big therapy. Come here. What a lovely boy. My God, I like boys like this. Come here. Come. What a beautiful boy. What is your name? Dave. Ayurveda has a special subject called Gandharva Ayurveda, where for every illness there is a raga. There's a particular raga. And a man called some Malayali chap, very interesting chap, he has now analyzed that and he has put that in a CD, which is being sold from Canada. And if you tell them what is your disease and what is your horoscope and a date of birth, etc., they'll find a raga for your disease. And you can buy the CD and listen to that. And this is now known that ragas can really heal. And as a matter of fact, a good music, if you listen to, your blood pressure comes down. Did you know that? We have done a lot of studies on music, blood pressure. But not rock music. There's a nice book written by an American professor called Closing of an American Mind. Young man, write down the book, Closing of an American Mind. His name is Alan Bloom. Alan teaches social philosophy in the Chicago University, a brilliant man. And Alan writes that all the ills of American society today in the 20s is due to the rock music of the 60s. And rock music, you know what the meaning of the word rock music? Anybody knows? Rock. Engineers up. Chartered accountants up. Rock. It's like a rock. Rock. Rock means sexual intercourse in African language. So the rock music beat is the sexual intercourse beat. So people who delve himself in rock music, they lose emotions in sex later on. So the epidemic of today's divorce in America is due to the 60s ABBA, Giba and all rock music. And then rock music robs you of the peace of mind. And then all kinds of problems come from that. Please read the book Closing of an American Mind by Alan Bloom, Bloom, Allan, Alan Bloom. Good boy.
One more question.
Yeah.
Is playing and hearing music is a good lifestyle?
Good. A very good boy. Yes, young dear. Yes, you are right. Music is good. This actually you will be surprised. If you attend a music concert and enjoy that, your blood pressure, we have seen blood pressures coming down. Some of these, especially Indian classical music, the alapana, so nice. You become so tranquil. The cultural capital of India is Chennai. And if you go now, December month, from the 15th of December to the end of December, there are 50 Gana Sabhas in one road. And they have music from morning till night, different music, all big names. Karaikudi, Mani, this fellow, that fellow, and all people sing there. And you would be surprised, you don't get a room in any hotel in Madras in December because all RNI, Chennaites, RNIs, they all flock there. and listen to all that music and then go back to America or Timbuktu or wherever they are from, or Kuwait for that matter.
We will only have time to take 2 more questions.
Hello. Good girl.
Hello, doctor.
Come.
Coming to the subject of preventive medicine, we who work in the corporate sector and have a very sedentary lifestyle, the only preventive medicine we know is going to India for an annual health checkup. And when we go there, they subject us to all kinds of tests and the readings, and we take that as gospel truth, and they suggest all kinds of medicines. So what is your opinion on this annual health checkup?
Very good, very good. Do you know what I wrote to the bank chairman? I wrote to the bank chairman, do not give money for your people to go for a checkup. Give a bonus to people who don't go to see doctors at all and they're happy, and give them 1 or 2 lakhs every year. And they'll live longer, your bank will benefit a lot. Otherwise, checkup. You know what is checkup? There are some tests, they run the whole test. And then you get some data, what is called result. And this data is not static. Supposing your sugar now, you know, we did some study. We pricked 5 fingers of a human being and took 5 blood samples. Within maybe a few seconds or minute maybe, the 5 are different. If they are different, he is a healthy person. Nothing will happen to him. Even if he is a diabetic and the 5 readings are different, he will not have any problem with diabetes. But if the 5 are same, you are either going to die very soon or you are a very bad diabetic. Remember that? So there is what's called healthy chaos. Every lesion must be like this. Blood pressure must be like this. Sugar must be like this. It becomes like that only when you are dead. So if a doctor catches it there, he calls high blood pressure. Catches it here, he calls low blood pressure. I'll give an example. What is the average height of an Indian male? This is a telling example. I tell people, I get fed up telling that. What we do is we do an actuarial thing. You take 1,000 people and then plot it on a Gaussian curve, bell-shaped curve. Engineers understand, actuaries understand. So there are people with 4.6 inches height, normal. 6.6 inches height, normal. Now what we do mean plus 2 standard deviation. This is a statistical term. What is statistics, do you know? Huh? Good boy. Who is that? Who said that? Good man. There's a nice book for you. It's called Statistics, Science Without Sense. That's the book's name. Science Without Sense. The author's name is Stephen Milloy, who teaches statistics in Washington State University. Very interesting thing. Anyway, now you get what? 5.4 inches plus minus 2 inches. Now let us say you go for a checkup. How tall are you?
6 feet.
6 feet. So he is abnormal. He is a disease. So the treatment they prescribe is cut his leg and make him 5.4. How tall is your wife?
5'10".
5'10". Oh, she is also tall. Supposing you have a Jaya Bachchan like wife, 4.6. And the treatment for her is transplant a leg and make her 5.6. This is what exactly is called. So preventive medicine is not the right term. Promotive medicine. The right thing is promotive medicine. Your company should tell you, or you should do, you'll change your lifestyle so that none of these things happen. Do you know what was Mahatma Gandhi's blood pressure? 200 by 100. Do you know who was not getting sleep? Sushila Nair, his doctor. And the old man was sleeping very comfortably and died of all complications of hypertension, including that Godse's bullet. So your blood pressure is what is your blood pressure, is not my blood pressure. And there is nothing called normal blood pressure because I don't know. I have been researching blood pressure for 40 years. I have written a book on blood pressure. If you ask me now, I don't know what is normal blood pressure. And if you ask me what is my blood pressure, I don't know.
Hello, doctor. Hello, sir. Hello.
Good. Very good question. Portman Group of alcohol manufacturers created this myth in 1981, which was published in the British Heart Journal in January issue of 1981, where the editor wrote, now the doctor should go to society and ask everybody to drink so that heart disease will come down. And the truth is, every drop of alcohol damages the heart muscle, which is called cardiomyopathy. And there's a bigger cause of death, sudden death, than heart attack. And this is why Gorbachev banned vodka. Because 30 people were dying in the central hospital in Russia, Moscow, every day of alcoholic cardiomyopathy, cutting off the heart, the circulation of electricity. Mone, Not even one drop. Is it moderation?
Hello, hello, sir.
You must change your idea of moderation. Yes?
Hello. One quick question, sir.
Quick.
Yeah. As you said, most of the diseases are due to emotions and stresses. How do you explain these diseases due to genetic disorders? For example, retina pigmentosa.
Wait. There's a difference between congenital inherited diseases and genetics as a cause of heart disease. Genes have no role to play in human life. Remember that? Genes have no role to play in human life. But there are some inherited diseases which are called genetic, which is not really genetic. All diseases, everything happens to man because of the environment. Genetics has gone. And human gene, if you want to know, human genome has only 23,000 human genes, 2.5 trillion germ genes. You have virinomes, metabolomes, germinomes, etc. So that what your parents contribute to you is 23,000 divided by 2.5 trillion. Where's our actuary? It will be 1 in a million chance. So 1 in a million chance sometimes you get retinal thing or you get a congenital disease. That is not genetic. None of the diseases that we talk about and we treat are genetic. They are environmental. And that's why lifestyle change is the only thing. Genes don't matter. Epigenetics has come. Darwin was wrong. Lamarck is right. And Darwin's own grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, told him, you are wrong. But he didn't listen to that. But Darwin, while dying, he said, yes, environment is important. But neo-Darwinists don't want to leave that because it's big money business. Today, do you know if you have a pregnant woman, wife, and if you are a moneyed man, a company will come. We will preserve your child's cord blood for all times to come. Biggest myth. They'll make tons of money out of that. Nothing will come out of that. This all started with Stalin's death. They wanted to preserve Stalin's body. Nitrogen, liquid nitrogen, and tons of money. Even today there are people, rich people preserving their body, hoping that someday technology will make them wake up and walk. Don't worry about that. Epigenetics. Have you heard of epigenetics? Read that.
Hello, doctor.
We'll come to that. Yeah, our young man.
Healer Hegde, not doctor. Healer Hegde. You know that now in West, it's the stress. That everything is related to stress. I was talking to a psychotherapist, a lady, and she said, do you know that in India, it depends upon you. I can't make you angry. You make yourself angry. If you can get that through, you will not feel angry.
Good.
That your wife can't make you angry. Your boss can't make you angry. You do it yourself. And that affects your health.
Correct.
So this is what I think very important for us to...
Absolutely right. You said it. And look at this young man. He is so healthy. Do you know why? He has got 14 kids. Out of which 4 are biological, 10 are adopted from different countries. And he enjoys them and he will never die. I can tell you that. He will never die. You don't have to have cryopreservation. He will not die at all.
Thank you.
Autoimmune disease is what is called horror autotoxicus. Your own body cells damaging your own body cells. You understand that? It's the most dangerous thing to happen. Now your body cells and my body cells are the same. They love each other. Supposing you hate me, your body cells get confused. Why is she hating that poor man, Hegde, poor chef? He has come all the way here. Why is she hating him? Still you hate him. At one stage, your own body cells start hating your own body cells. That's called autoimmune disease. So if you have an autoimmune disease, sit in a quiet room and make a list of people you hate, you're angry with, as our friend said, and all that bad things, and make a list and forgive them. Autoimmune disease will gradually go down.
Oh, yes.
No, that is a reductionist view. It is my passion. No memory. It's my passion.
A last comment. I was just observing that, I mean, I had an occasion to listen to other cardiologists, Dr. K.P. Mishra also. I was just wondering, why do all cardiologists after a certain time become more philosophical than actually believing in their cardiology? This was one. Second thing is, you made a comment about, I mean, if you're, when the young lady there asked about a 4-year-old child getting some diseases like, I mean, leukemias and all, you said that their mental status and they're fighting and doing all. Then do you mean to say that a person, if he dies young, he has a very bad mental status or something? Because Vivekananda died very young. And others, big criminals, they are living for more than 100 years and all. So does the situation change in their mental faculty? And
oh my God, this is not one question. So many questions.
Yeah, and last was just a comment which I do agree that the pharmaceuticals do make a case for the disease. It was very evident recently with the swine flu epidemic, because the CEO of Tamiflu had 1 year before said that the total sale of the product would increase next year by 150%. How did he know? He was not a philosopher. He knew how to.
Good.
I definitely agree
I will
with
answer
you.
your last question first. The company which manufactures or sells Tamiflu is not the manufacturer. And the company which produced the swine flu test is the same company. And they caught hold of a doctor called Dr. Osterhaus, a Scandinavian doctor, and made him say H1N5 is a new virus and is killing all of you. And now he is called Dr. Flu. And this doctor now is in jail because he has found that he took $10 million from this company to create the disease. And there is nothing called swine flu. Swine flu was a hoax. There's nothing like Zika. Zika virus has been there for donkey's years. Now suddenly in Brazil, there's so much of chemical spraying that microcephaly has become a big problem. And the chemical companies, the pharmaceutical, not the pharmaceutical, agricultural chemical, they didn't want the world to know. So they got hold of doctors to say, it's a Zika virus which did it. Now it's all blown off. In Brazil, they found there's not a single child with microcephaly which had anti-Zika antibodies, number one. Number two, it's not K.P. Mishra and one or two examples are, one swallow doesn't make a summer. Every doctor who thinks, if he thinks, THINCKS, then he will become a philosopher sooner than later. You know, when I wrote this first paper called Unconventional Wisdom in Medicine, 1968, people condemned me for that. And this paper was rejected by journals for 15 years. It was published in 1983 with my photograph on the blast head, where the editor said, I have never heard this sort of a thing. And when it was published, a surgeon in London wrote to me, Dr. Hegde, up until I read your article, I was also having similar thoughts, but I expressed it to my friends. They thought I was mad, so I kept quiet. Now I have taken 100 copies of the article, given it to all my friends. Thank you. They don't think I am that mad after all. Thank you very much.